So first things first, we are going to prime our eyes with Urban Decay Primer Potion. Yeah, it's okay. So the first thing we're gonna do in this palette is we're gonna take this nice warm kind of caramelly taupey brown kind of color, and we are going to put that on a pencil brush. This is just an e.l.f. pencil brush. I just recently washed it, which is why it looks a little funny. I'm just going to load that up on there, tap off the extra, and then we're going to take that and put that right in the crease and just kind of blend it out a little bit. What this is going to do is it's going to help us blend our other shadows better, basically. By defining our crease first, we can blend our other shadows into this color a little bit more easily than if we just started with the eyelid color. We're going to take just a regular old flat shader brush. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush. It's one of my favorite flat shader brushes. I don't know, it's my go-to brush. And I'm going to load up this gold color right here, this really pretty shimmery kind of gold color. I'm going to load that up on my brush, tap off the extra, and I'm just going to kind of pat that onto my whole eyelid. Okay. Now I know in her video she used glitter, but I don't really have any glitter, so this is going to be a slightly more subdued version of her look. Okay, so there's that. You can add more, you can add less. I'm just going to run my brush over it to make it a little bit more shiny, just because I don't have glitter. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same pencil brush and I'm going to dip it in this one right here. It's kind of a shimmery version of this darker brown color. Right, and the reason I'm going to use this is because it's going to go in the outer corner of my already shimmery eyelid. I just want to get a little bit of that. I don't want too terribly much. And it's just going to add a little bit more definition to my outer lid without taking away from the shimmeriness of my gold color that I have on there. I don't know if you guys can, hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, now I'm going to take the same brush that I used for the gold and I'm going to flip it over to the other side, and I'm just going to pick up some of this shimmery buttery color, tap off the extra, and then I'm going to put that in the very inner corner, just again to help add some definition. And we're going to take this really creamy kind of a skin tone color, and we're just going to load that up, and then that's going to be our brow highlight, and you're just going to want to blend that down into the matte crease color that we already placed earlier. That just kind of helps make a really nice transition between your eyelid colors and your brow highlight. Okay, so that is done. Now it's time for foundation. So I'm going to prime my face first. This is the Revlon Photo Ready Face Primer. I'm just going to apply... Okay, so first things first, you want to squeeze it just a little bit, because one thing I've noticed about this face primer is it tends to get like really hard, chunky pieces that dry out in this little nozzle here. So you want to kind of squeeze those out, because those don't blend real well on your face. I mean, you can, but it's just a mess. So about 1.5 pumps onto your middle finger. Should cover your whole face. For people with smaller faces, you can probably get away with 1 pump. For people with, you know, bigger faces, you probably need 2. I'm good with 1.5. So I'm going to get some on my middle finger. I'm just going to dot it around my face. I know it looks funny now. Okay, and then I'm going to take my clean hands and smear it around. You want to make sure that you blend down onto your neck, because there's nothing worse than having that line where your foundation stops, especially if your foundation might be a little too dark or a little too light for your skin tone. You always want to make sure to blend your foundation down onto your neck. Even if you don't completely cover your neck, you want to blend it. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Nuance by Selma Hayek Tinted Moisturizer in Light. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit onto my hand. A little bit more than that. So about that much is going to cover my whole face. You can use a brush. I think I'm going to use a brush today. You don't have to use a brush, you can just use your fingers. But I think I'm going to go with a brush. I'm going to use one of these brushes just because I like how well it blends it into my face. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to just kind of pounce it in the product. Now what I do, because there's usually so much product on the brush at first, is I just kind of dot it on my face like I did with my primer. And then I take to blending. Now with your damp sponge, it's really important that your sponge be damp, because otherwise it's just going to soak all the makeup off your face that you just put on, and we don't want that. We just want it to help smooth out any lines that you might have. So with your damp sponge, you're just going to dot that all over your face. And it's really important that you blot and not like rub it, because then you're just going to be creating the same problem that you're using the sponge to try and get rid of. You really want to dot it all over your face. And that's just going to help smooth out any lines, any like patchy areas that you might have. You can get one of those beauty blenders. I've seen them in like drugstores and on YouTube and stuff, but I haven't ever actually used one. It's supposed to be reusable. I don't know. But if you were looking for something like that, I would definitely recommend you check that out. So now it's time for concealer. I'm using my Superstay Concealer 24 Hour from Maybelline. And what you want to do is dot it. You don't want to just like rub your concealer on, and you don't want to blend it with this little wand thing, because it's packed with product. So I'm just going to dot it on my dark circles, around my nose, dark circles, on my chin, anywhere basically that you have redness or discoloration of any kind. Now I'm going to take my sponge again, and I'm just going to blend that out. I use dots because it seems to be a lot easier to blend out than say just a big line of concealer. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same pencil brush that I used for all of the dark shadows, and I'm going to pick up this matte dark brown just a little bit, and I'm going to run that along my lower lash line. Now the reason I'm using the matte dark brown rather than the shimmery dark brown is because I don't want it to compete with my upper eyelid, but I still want it to blend seamlessly with it. So same thing with the other eye. And then what you can do is take the flat shader brush and the shimmery buttery color and do a little bit more of an inner corner highlight just to add a little bit extra to the look. Alright, for my waterline, I'm going to be using a NYX eyeliner eyebrow pencil in Velvet. It's just a really pretty champagne color. I'm going to be putting that on my waterline right after I sharpen it. Alright, I'm going to be putting a NYX Jumbo, this is not Jumbo. This is a NYX, I'm going to be putting a NYX eyeliner eyebrow pencil in Velvet on my waterline. So, and what you want to do is take your, I wasn't just flipping out. What you want to do is take your index finger and don't pull down on your bottom eyelid. You want to look for that area between the top of your cheekbone or the bottom of your orbital bone and right under your eyeball. And you want to just take your finger and gently push that out. And then run that along there. So now I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. And that just kind of helps add a little bit of shimmer to your waterline and makes you look just a little bit more awake and your eyes look a little bit more open. And my kitty, he decided he needed attention. Say hi, maybe. Alright, now I'm going to be taking my Physicians Formula Shimmer Strip Brown Eyes brown eyeliner and lining my top lash. So I'm just gonna, I want a really thin line, and you can do this with a brush, but I'm just going to kind of like put it on my lashes and kind of just wiggle it in. The key to getting a really thin line is very small strokes. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is curl our eyelashes. What you want to do is open your eyelash curler, look down so that your lashes get in the curler, and then look back up so that they meet the metal thing, and then gently squeeze shut a few times. You don't want to squeeze too hard because there's nothing that hurts worse than having a piece of your eyelid stuck in your eyelash curler. It hurts so bad.